What up? This is your boy Checo.
This is your boy Noe. What up?
And this is Compas Unfiltered. Thank you guys for listening, for watching. Make sure you guys follow all of our social media, subscribe and like.
And make sure you go rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure you drop a comment on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the episode. Episode 121. We back at it, bro.
We back at it, bro.
Quick shout out before I start and introduce our guest today. Shout out to the Suarez brothers, Joel and Christian. I saw you guys at Cantarito Guzman this past Sunday. I highly recommend for anyone who's in the area and wants to go experience the whole Cantarito thing. It's similar to what they do in Amatitan, Jalisco with the big Cantarito Cervuero. Uh-huh. It's dope. It's free. $20 for the parking. That's it. And then uno tiene que pagar los tragos o lo que sea que está dentro. But other than that, it is a dope experience. You got like 2 bandas, 2 tamborazos, and they'll have like a norteño or 2. Shout out to Aguacate. Shout out to Carlos. Compa Jesse. I saw Jesse out there as well.
See Compa Fry?
Fry wasn't there, bro. No He's not about the rancho life. Neither was Bart, bro. Bart wasn't there, but Compa Entertainment was, so shout out to Compas Entertainment. Bart wasn't out there, bro. He, I guess Carlos said he never makes it out, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever he goes out there, you got to make it out there too, bro.
I'm going to make it out there soon, bro.
We have to.
Because I feel like the summer's, on the way out, Compa.
For sure.
So we got to make it out there when it's nice.
Yeah. I agree. And then there was also somebody else who kind of said what's up to me. I don't know if it was pod related or if it was a Cristalera, bro. But if you do listen to a pod, shout out to you, compa. I didn't get your name. You just kind of passed by and like said what's up. So I don't know. Maybe it was nobody. they probably thought it was somebody else and shit.
Oh shit, wrong person.
Wrong person.
Shout out to everybody that supports and listens, man. Keep clicking the subscribe button, the follow button, like our shit on TikTok, Snapchat, and all social media platforms.
Follow the new pod.
Yeah, follow the new Pod Fam.
The Pod Fam podcast. We're on YouTube. By the time this releases, we should be like on Apple Podcasts. Right now, we're on Spotify, Amazon, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you guys follow the Pod Fam, follow the socials in the YouTube channel. We drop once a month, and hopefully more.
Spotify, todo el pedo.
Yes, sir. Now, our guest today drove like 10 hours to get here, bro. Our first guest out of town.
Yeah, it is our first guest out of town, right?
Out of town, bro.
Out of town.
That's wild.
It's funny that you say 10 hours, though, bro, because if you add them up, you close, bro.
It is.
Yeah, right?
Casi.
With stops y todo, son unas,
On the way there and on the way back, that's 10 hours.
That is wild.
So, Dani or Dani?
Either or.
Welcome to Compas Unfiltered.
Welcome to Compas Unfiltered.
Muchas gracias. I'm very happy to be here.
We appreciate you driving
that's wild.
all the way out here.
Still, to this day. Right now. At this moment. I'm like, holy shit, she drove from all the way over there. Not but welcome to Compas Unfiltered.
Are you heading back tonight?
No, I'm from here. I'm going to go to Chicago and then stay here because I left work early in the morning, descansé a little bit, and then I headed over here. So I got to sleep a little bit, and then I'm going to head back in the morning.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, too. I'm always kind of like, when I drive at night, because there's like a lot of deer, no? On your way over. Didn't you hit a deer, compa?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I ain't trying to do that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like driving at night either, bro.
No, especially like going out there because it's like all like rural. I was gonna say when we drove to Texas, bro, we saw so many fucking deer, and that's why it gets me fucking like.
Oh, you saw them alive or dead?
I think there was a couple dead.
So the time that I went to Iowa and hit that deer, bro, at night, well, the deer hit me, whatever. On the way back, I told you, I think I said it. We counted like over 21 dead deer. On the way back.
You hit that many?
No, wait, nomás uno, güey, pero on the way back.
I was like, damn, that Ford didn't play.
Nah, I was like, let's count them and shit. Because we kept seeing them, bro. And like, boom, boom, boom. Over 21, I think. I think it was 27. I just don't want to make it up. Damn. It was a lot, bro.
That's a lot. You didn't see any on the way over here, right?
No.
Okay.
There were a lot of cops, though. Eso sí.
You were saying about a lot of cops, yeah.
Yes.
Como que es temporada, ¿no?
Yeah. And I was telling him, I was like, there wasn't really that much traffic, pero sí había mucha policía. There was like at least 7.
Are you a speed limit type of person or like you 80, 90?
I'm not, but this time I was. Because I was like, I got to make sure I get there, Pero ya como the last hour before I got here, then I was just like fully going 80, 90, just making sure there was no cops around the corner or anything.
Yeah. But you're typically speeder?
Yes.
Damn. You?
No,
You're not?
I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson. Yeah, no, I typically do. And my shout out to my compadre Cam. He's gonna be talking shit. He's like, man, you drive like a grandma. My nephew once told me that. He's like, I heard you drive like a grandma. I'm like, yeah, well now I do. I'm like, after so many fucking speeding tickets. Yeah. So I'm a speed limit type person.
I think
You,
so
compa?
too. Yeah, I think I'm...
It's like 5 over? 5, 10 over?
Yeah, 75. Maybe I'll push 80, you know? De vez en cuando en tramitos, I'll step on it a little bit playing around. But for the most part, I'll do 75, 80. 75, 80.
Yeah. And then there was a cop that was behind me. Y yo venía en el celular because I was like putting in the
shit.
GPS. Pero yo venía on like donde sí le puedes poner más velocidad, right? Y I didn't even know that he was behind me until like I kind of glanced up y vi como like that it was a cop.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna switch lanes. Y ya se fue más delante.
He left.
Yeah.
But I definitely slowed it down. I got off my phone. So
Yeah, it's tough out there, man.
yes.
Yeah,
I was like, I cannot.
And it gets kind of crazy, though, when you get a ticket, like, outside of state, too, no? Like, you gotta... Do you have to show up to court or something?
Some places you do, bro.
So they kind of make you drive over there? I'm not with that.
Yeah, no.
So I try to keep it speed limit.
Bro, that happened to us once at for the band. We went to Detroit, and Adolfo was driving, and he was like on this cop's ass, bro. Like, I guess he was just nervous. Like, he didn't know how to slow down. I'm like, slow the fuck down, bro. Slow down. And he was like, he just wasn't listening to me.
He was stuck.
Like, he was stuck. And next thing you know, the cop goes to the next lane, you know, and pulls back and then gets behind us and pulls us over. And they arrested him, took him in. Oh, he didn't have a license. He didn't have a license.
I remember that.
He didn't have a license. So we had to use our gig money, bro, to get him out.
Damn.
So all of our gig money, like, just to get him out. And then I think he had to go back for court still.
To Detroit.
Yeah.
That's wild. I knew something like that. And I was like, damn.
So that's not fun, man. No. That is definitely not fun.
I think if you want to, like, for him, it's a different situation. But I think if you want to fight the ticket or something, or maybe they do tell you, like, you do have to present yourself in court for this, you know? Maybe if you're going a crazy amount over, you know?
Right.
Because I think after a certain amount, I think it's like felony, no?
Mm-hmm.
See that?
See.
That's going to be a ridiculous amount too, no?
Because don't they bar you from driving? Well, te quitan la licencia and then you get barred, right?
I don't know.
Algo así?
I just think after a certain speed limit, it's considered like something endangerment or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I know what you're talking.
Facts to it.
we're just saying shit.
But
ain't even true.
Somebody will fact check us, fool.
They always do. So again, thank you for coming out and thank you for reaching out. I believe the time that we talked, we had just dropped an episode. Shout out to Abner and the number one critic. They had came out and they were talking about child trafficking, and I think that's when you had messaged us about child trafficking. You had done like a paper on it and whatnot, and now with this movie that came out, it was like perfect timing. We got to have you on with this whole child trafficking thing that's going on. Not that's going on, right? Just because of the movie, it's being brought to light, I guess, or whatever. What was that that you did for was it, you said you did like a paper, right? You did like something for school?
Yeah, so when I was in college, they had us do a bunch, because I had to do sociology, psychology, and composition. So you had to, really research everything that like you were going to be writing about. And with part of that research, I guess, like when you like look for something on the internet and then you kind of go down like a loophole.
A rabbit hole?
Yeah. Y luego pues I think I had just given birth to Ben. So like when you first have a kid, it's like everything is just like scary, Y I think that's when, back in Iowa, in Altoona, there was a certain case where like a child was trying to get abducted by somebody within the store. Y una persona like reconoció que el niño was with the mom at that point. So when that person saw like, hey, this child was not with this person, it was with his mom, that's when like the red flags started going up. And thankfully they did get the child back to its mom. But after hearing that story, it's like everything kind of, for me and my head kind of just clicked together. And I was like, I kind of really do want to like research this. And I feel like now things are coming to light. Whereas like back then, a couple years ago, 5 years ago, when I did this paper for school, that's when like you didn't really hear about things as much as you are right now, especially with this movie. Sí sabes que pasaba, but you didn't, now we kind of have numbers. Back then you really didn't know like how often, how easy, or like, especially like it doesn't happen just in the nighttime. It happens in the daytime too.
Yeah.
So now we're like more aware of these situations.
Yeah, especially with this whole like Epstein thing, right?
Yep.
Epstein and the whole island thing, and then like now this movie, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. And I know, I believe if I remember correctly, you were saying about like it's human trafficking in general, and like the porn industry kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's wild.
Yep.
Like to me,
and when I was telling my friends, they're like, "Well, what are you going to go talk about?" And I was like, "Oh, about like how child and human trafficking really do pay into like the porn industry." And they're like, "What?" Like when you think about these two topics, you don't really think that they go hand in hand, right?
Right.
Like piensas que son dos cosas diferentes, pero o sea, no lo son. Not everything that you see on whatever sites people are visiting are professionally made. Like there's times that you can absolutely tell, like, hey, this is immature and this is completely professional. But can you really tell, like, is this person really there because they want to be, or because they're being forced to be there?
Right.
Right.
And I think at the time where you had mentioned that Pornhub, like there was some kind of like lawsuit or something like that I had seen. There was like a headline where like I think they like took down the site, but then they had to like remove a bunch of videos. I didn't do my research and read up on it, but I think you did tell me something about it, like, oh, like this is kind of the reason why, because of human trafficking or whatever. Like some of these videos, like there are people being forced into this. Like it's not, like you said, professionally made or anything like that. Which I was like, damn, that's fucking crazy, you know?
I had never thought about it until he said it. You know, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Because you never really know, like, what you know what you're watching, but you don't really know, like, is this person here because they want to be? Is this voluntary? Are they making money, or are people making money off of them?
Right.
Right? Like, una cosa is that you're going to be an actress, y otra cosa es que te tengan ahí. You know? Like, you never really know, which is why people really do need to be intentional about what they're doing and about, like, what we're consumers of anything. You know, vas a la tienda, compras algo, you're a consumer. You go and watch a movie, you're a consumer. When you go and you watch these types of things, you're essentially a consumer. You're paying into that. And I know that some of these sites, the way that like they get paid is off of views. So, I mean, we're all adults. Let's get real here. When you go and you log on to a site, how often than not do you not see young, teen, or petite? Why? Because children are younger. They're around the teen age, and they're smaller framed than like other people might be, right? And unfortunately, those are the videos that get the most views.
Which is sickening. Kind of crazy.
It is. Yeah. Oye, veces que, like, when I was talking to a friend about it, he was like, being real, like, he's like, there's times that, like, it says teen, pero se ven bien chiquitas. Like, you don't really know, like, I mean, on there, they're not going to prove an age to you. You're just kind of, you're going to take, like, what they're saying. But is it actually a teen, or is it someone that's, like, below the 18 limit?
Right.
O sea, uno nunca sabe, which is why I'm saying you have to be very intentional with what we're consuming, because we are paying into this profit, this problem.
Yeah. And some of the research that you did, and I want to bring this, like, because of the movie, because they talk about, like, if I don't know, you haven't seen the movie, then I'm gonna fucking kill it for some of these people out here. But the movie was where it was like they had like a beauty, not a pageant, right? It was like I don't know, like a screening, or what do you want? I don't know what you call it.
Como que iba a ser modelo. Sí, pues sí, como not a beauty pageant, but a
screening, like a
model agency
session, like a photo session type of thing.
Session to be a model or a singer.
And then that's how they got all these kids, you know. Now obviously this is not what happens like every single time. This is the only way it happens. There's obviously other ways. You just said something about like, you know, this girl that almost got abducted, and it happens. We've seen it in shoot. It just happened in what, Elgin or whatever it was, where they the sex ring.
Yeah, it was in St. Charles, like King County. But yeah, they were able to find some other locations in Hannibal Park, St. Charles, Elgin, and Chicago. So they were able to find, you know, all those homes with people in them that were being sex trafficked. Right? Yeah,
a lot of girls. Right? It was like a lot of girls.
I don't know the amount, but I know they found, you know, people in those places.
I want to say it was like 20. Like 20, but there were
a lot of people, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Hell yeah. To be be held there against your will and to perform these acts and whatever. Like, fuck yeah, bro. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
What was some of the stuff that you looked into that besides the porn that they kind of correlate?
So I think just yesterday, and I think I might have posted it on my Instagram story too. They were talking about how like certain businesses, just because something is there's like legal paperwork like an LLC and stuff like that. So like for example, a massage parlor, just because tu piensas, oh, it's a legitimate massage parlor, your mind doesn't want to think beyond that. But there's been situations to where like just because a business is illegal doesn't mean that only legal activities are happening there. And so I was watching also on YouTube, there's also a documentary where like in a porn star is talking about how she was essentially being trafficked. So now it's not amateur or professional, it's how some of these people do become like professional actresses because they've been trafficked. O sea, ya es el abuso que se acostumbran a estar así, you know? And then there also is a question where, like, 'cause I was going through the comments and people are asking, well, if you knew like what was going on, like, ¿por qué te quedabas or anything like that? That's when you have to think about like grooming. Grooming comes into question because cuando ya estás en ese ambiente, when you're when you're young, say you're young, you're in the teens or whatever, and you're being molested, you're being abused, you're being raped. Tú te vas acostumbrando a ese tipo de abuso, grooming, to where like you start thinking about yourself differently. Like you hear stories about how women become either hypersexual or not sexual at all. O sea, it's one way or the other, right?
Based on the traumas.
Based on the traumas. And then aside from that, it's like what follows on after that? Unhealthy relationships. Te buscas a alguien que no te va a tratar bien because you think in your mind that that's what you're worth at that point, right? Mm-hmm. Because you experience all of these things that you don't know anything different. So it's not a question of like, why did you stay or why didn't you just leave? It's really not that simple. Anybody who has been abused or been through anything like that, se te queda y te cambia. Like psychologically, it's proven when you go through abuse, your brain is a computer, your brain rewires itself. How many times do we not hear, well, why are you like this? Why do you think like this? Esto que lo otro. Because your brain rewires itself. No vas a pensar igual of one situation to another situation as much. Like, think about when someone comes from like a loving home versus a home where like you were just raised on like how to survive. No, you're not going to look at a situation the same, right?
Yeah.
I think things in society these days are super simplified to where nothing is really that simple. When you really look at like the breakdown of absolutely everything and you research everything, nothing is that simple. You can't just say, oh, ¿por qué te quedaste? Oh, in our culture, especially as Hispanics, well, it's your fault because you dress like this. O porque andas así. Oh, pues te pasó porque andabas like, you know, like at a club or dancing. Pues porque andabas en ese ambiente. O porque andabas borracha, right?
Like there's always the judging behind it.
It's always the judgment thing.
Yeah. I agree. In the movie, I don't know who, I forgot his name, bro, but and I'm looking at you because I know you watched it as well. It's the other guy that was also trying to help, where they went to when they were in Colombia.
Was it the dude that was part of the cartel, like money laundering for the cartel, the accountant, or the other guy?
The other guy that was that was helping. I forgot his name, but he says that he had bought. I mean, this is all a movie, right? Mm-hmm. So he had bought into a prostitute and did whatever he did.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
then
it's the same guy.
Is the same guy?
Yeah.
And then when he was like, once everything was done, finalizing, and he paid her, then he realized that she was like 14 or something. Like it was,
like
she was very young.
Opening up, yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck? Like, but she almost kind of did it with a smile. But it's kind of like how you're saying, like if you're being probably since you were young and this is all you're used to now, it's like you're being groomed, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that easy. And especially, I don't want to imagine, but where if you do get abducted and trafficked and whatever, and it's like now you don't have family. Like, who do you run to? Where do you go? Mm-hmm. Like, this is all you know. And then you have this guy who's probably telling you like, well, I'll keep you safe, but you just got to keep doing this. And
that's where it's dangerous, because if you think about it, a lot of people do really like, people come from broken homes. That's some real shit. Am I allowed to cuss here?
Yeah.
Okay. That's some real shit. people do come from broken homes. Not everybody lives like very like with protective parents. Not everybody comes from like a 2-parent home. And there's been interviews with like child predators or with pimps and stuff. Well, ¿por qué te buscaste ahí or anything like that? Because when people come from broken homes, like they especially look for father figures. Is this father figure gonna come and fuck me up if I do something to this kid? If not, like como que corren el riesgo, quieren hacer eso, right? I don't remember the name of who this person. He's a child predator. Who he was. Pero, o sea, le hicieron una entrevista and he...
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name, but I know who you're talking about.
They did an interview and they were, like, asking him, like, well, why them? Or, like, what would you, like, look for? Anything like that.
Yeah, like, kind of like, how do you become a successful sex predator? Like, what were your steps? And, yeah, like, making sure that there wasn't a father figure. Making sure it was, like a 1-parent home. If they were religious, he'd stay away, like if they were like Sunday churchgoers and stuff like that.
So this is how he would pick his victims.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
O también decía, if it's a single mom, what would he do?
Yeah.
Va, habla con la mamá, like, oh, well, because the thing about single moms is like people think that they always want someone to like be there and take care of their kids. And that's why with me and my friends, we talk about this. We're like, you can't just be bringing anybody around your kids porque no sabes las intenciones que van a tener con tus hijos, right? And so like, that's one of the things that he said. Well, you're there, you help the mom. Oh, you need help, you need this, you need that. Poco a poquito se van acercando until that person, that mom, until she gives you her trust. And then with that, like, then she kind of starts opening like her home and the kids. And así pueden pasar muchas cosas.
Then they groom them. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And you're an older white guy.
Yeah. I think he made it out of jail, right? And then that's when they interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
You have to check that one out. It's one of the. I know you listen to some of the podcasts de ese vato.
It's in Spanish or it's
No, it's an English one. I forgot his name. I'll look it up though. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I saw it on TikTok, but I know what you're talking about. I saw it popped up on TikTok and like they were talking about that.
So this is a pod. It's not like it's like on Netflix or anything like that. Like a
No.
documentary
It was a podcast. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a podcast.
That must be tough too to interview someone like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I'm sure once he's giving all the keys, like on how he picked his victims.
Yeah, I want to fuck him up for real. Like
he was pretty much given the blueprint, but
I always say if I ever go to jail voluntarily, no que me lleven voluntarily, it's gonna be because something, God forbid, over my kids. Like that's where you really have to like protect, especially in this society. Porque nunca sabes las intenciones que alguien pueda tener with your kids. I don't even post my kids on my social media sometimes, unless it's like a close family circle, algo así. But aún así, a lot of the times when people are abused, it's also family.
Yeah, they say most of the time
it's family, right? That's what they say.
Yeah. So you said that you don't really post them that much, right? So, or you try not to. That's also a thing, though, dude. Have you seen the TikToks where, or a social media post, Instagram, where the person's like, "Oh, this person's challenging me to find who they are."
Yeah.
That shit is wild too.
And they find them.
And they find them.
Yeah.
They fucking find them, and they're like, "Oh, that's the same house. Okay, that's the pine tree. Okay, that verifies that. So this is where you're at. This is your address. Whoa, 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 boom, boom." And it's like, when I see shit like that, bro, it kind of scares me, dude, because what do families do whenever their kids are going to school? Oh, stand right there by the door.
Yeah. Y por eso siempre te dicen, no pongas the school.
Get first grade, get second grade.
Sí, no pongan
and you're
eso.
like, oh, I'm like, damn. Now they know that you live in this neighborhood. Now they know what school that kid belongs to. Okay, let's find the schedule or some shit. You know what I mean? And it's kind of scary, bro, because you see tons of people posting their kids, bro. The beginning of the school year, end of the school year, like, oh, second grade, made it through, going to first, whatever. I'm like, dude, how many pictures don't you see of your family or whoever, friends, doing it, And whenever I see those TikToks come up like that and they find these people out of nowhere, it's kind of scary. It's scary as hell.
Yeah, but I've seen them, and I just thought it was wild. I mean, I didn't think about it like at the moment where it's like, oh, that's just scary. I just, because like the people that are like, oh, try to find me, the other trolls, they're whatever. Someone's kind of like, you found your stupid ass.
Yeah. You think
but then you think about it in that way that you're saying,
but
like,
you think about the bad people that are doing it.
Exactly.
Then you're like, oh, damn, am I setting myself up?
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the news not that long ago también, como una noticia que también pasó, that kind of educating the people on how to use social media and what not to do. And one of the things was, hey, don't post your kids.
Yeah.
If you do, you know, try to not post in places where you're going to be recognized, or, you know what I mean?
También porque no sabes, like, you know, people can, like, I can take someone's kid's picture off the internet y las puedo vender a un site o algo
That's
así.
what it was. They were grabbing pictures from kids that weren't their kids and posting them, and like families were finding their kids in other posts or their profiles, and they were selling these images or whatever, you know. So imagine, dude, I find my son with a different family, dude, on a different profile. I'm like, that's not your son, you know? Crazy, bro.
That's wild, bro.
Crazy.
O
That's
los
what the news was that
O los
talking
venden a
about.
adult sites también. Have y'all heard of that one?
No.
I've never
They
heard.
can take your kids' pictures and sell them to an online site so that some sort of fucking pedophile or something that finds your kid attractive can go and do whatever the fuck it is that he wants to do.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm saying be very purposeful with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And don't, like, you just have to be very careful with posting pictures of your kids. And it's not just, oh, nomás las niñas. It's boys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, back to like the movie, I think it was like boys and girls, right, that they saved. But they're saying like that, like the actual truth or the actual number, it was mainly boys. I think that's what they were saying. Like God damn, I should have wrote all this shit down for the movie. But yeah, there was mainly boys, and the ages were like 15 to 17. So they were a little bit older, but still, regardless, you don't know if they got, you know, kidnapped, whatever, back when they were like 5, you know?
Yeah.
But still, it's just sick. But yeah, it's a lot of boys too, though. It's not just girls, like you said.
Y lo creo que from watching the trailer about the movie, they said that the life expectancy from, because like they also abuse not just children or kids within that age frame. También son bebés.
Yeah.
And when they start off being abused from being a baby, the life expectancy es a los 2 años. So from 0 to 2, that's the life expectancy that child has up until 2 years of age because of the amount of abuse that they have to go through, that they're going through.
So once they usually pass around 2? Or what do you
La
mean?
mayoría de los niños no llegan
No
a
llegan
los
a
2
2
años.
They pass away.
A los 2 años, pocos logran sobrevivir por tanto abuso que les están haciendo. They get abused, raped, everything, and not even nourished properly.
Of course,
if anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's
I never
something
heard of
super sick that I found out that, like, I don't even know if I don't want y'all to get flagged
No,
if I say it.
you're good.
But they would starve these babies because what do babies do?
Oh, that's messed up, man.
I'm lost.
To feed?
To feed?
Yeah.
How do babies eat? They suck. So when you starve a baby,
No.
see,
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, you going far, man. That shit.
There's things, but that's what I'm saying.
Damn.
These things make us very uncomfortable.
I didn't know.
How
I didn't know that.
uncomfortable.
Where did you find that information?
It's back when I was doing my paper.
Oh snap!
Like, if you really look into things, there's like books and everything like that you can go through.
Yeah, I didn't. No, I've never heard anything like that.
So like when I was watching the trailer, like pocos son los niños que logran pasar los 2 años because of the amount of abuse that they go through. I have a kid, and he is that age, and I look at him and I'm like, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, we definitely got to be mindful and protective, and like you said, purposeful in what we post.
Or your surroundings, donde estés, con quién estás, cómo te están mirando los niños, todo.
Talking about that documentary, dude, that was on Netflix, switching it up a little bit from the movie. There was a documentary on that kid that was un hispano that was abused by I think it was his stepdad and his mom, and then ended up dying. That child service,
Cali?
Yeah, child services kept going and
and
it slipped through the cracks. Didn't do anything. Ends up dying. These 2 people are in prison, but dude, I haven't had the courage or the strength to watch that.
Right.
Se apellidaba Fernández, ¿no?
I think so.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the documentary?
I did.
So I haven't been able to stomach that. Like the fact that when it was on the news, you got to kind of hear what they would do to this child, right?
Yeah, I cried.
Y no he podido ver ese. Like I don't want to put myself through that. I know it would bring me down to a level of like, I don't know if I can do it, you know?
Yeah.
Pero es lo mismo que ahorita les estaba diciendo, o sea, a nosotros nos afecta. We're adults. A nosotros nos afecta y sentimos bien feo. And we're grown. These are kids that are going through this.
No,
You know?
I understand.
That's why we need to bear the heaviness of these types of conversations to be able to make a difference.
What do you think you're doing different? Not just for your children, but in general. Like right now that you see like a lot of the kidnappings that are happening, if they put a 20 on your windshield and like don't touch it, fentanyl and all. Have you been seeing that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, all over social media.
All over social media. Is that people just hyping the shit up on social media, bro? Or you think it's really happening?
No, I think it's actually like just right now, a little bit ago when I was on my drive here, me and my friends have a friend group, and he works for the union. So the actual like union, I don't know if it's like the company or say les mandaron una letra of hey, even though it's hot outside, aunque les den una botella de agua, no la consuman. Because I guess there was a situation where two guys were given water and they ended up drinking it. One right now is in critical care. The other one passed away.
Yep.
You saw
because it had fentanyl.
Damn. Who and where was this at?
I don't know. You want to pull it up?
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So
but it was like
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like they gave these to they were flaggers, so they're working construction, and then pasaron and like, oh, he has on some water. And, I mean, I probably would take it too. Honestly,
would take it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's hot as fuck outside, you know. So yeah, and they had fentanyl.
What was the location?
It says the Chicago suburbs.
Oh, so it was here.
Yeah, it was here.
Oh man. The one thing that I do try to focus on too though is like whenever you go to a store and you park, like making sure you're not parked to a van with the sliding door and stuff like that. Van with no windows. And I tell my wife all the time, like, yo, man, make sure you know where you're parking, you know, like be aware of where you're parking.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a lot about those stories, bro, where it's like women going to grocery stores or whatever, and then they come out and they do see like a van next to their vehicle, but they also notice like some guy's been following them around and all that stuff. Like that's wild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But people are crazy, dude. I think it's happening more than we think. And I think the problem here in the U.S. too, bro, is that we're always in a rush. You know, hey, go run real quick to the grocery store. And we need this. All right, bet. You're running to the grocery store on your phone or not even thinking, and no te pones listo. You know,
The phone.
no te pones pilas. You know, hey, instead of hey, let me make sure I'm good. You know, even if it's during the day, because this shit is happening during the day. They try to snatch a baby at a Target during the day. You know,
Yeah.
and that happened here in Illinois too.
See all the stuff that's going on, bro, that we hear of and that we actually see video of, and then this is why I don't get why the pushback on the movie from people from media, from people who are like probably leftists, you know what I mean? They're you know, whatever, on the left side of politics. I don't get it, because it's like they're like, well, it's not really true, that's not how it happens. I'm like, well, maybe not, right? Maybe it's not a beauty whatever photo shoot like every single time. Like, yeah, of course, whatever, it's just a movie. But shit like this does happen though.
Disney was not in support of this movie coming out.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah,
Disney produces movies for children, supposedly.
They'd want to protect them, you'd think, right?
Correct. You would want these things to be actually out and spoken about, and you should be supportive. Why? Because you make movies for children. Se supone que hacen cosas para niños. El apoyo debería de ser para y por los niños.
Yeah.
And
They support a lot of other things, though.
And I guess I haven't watched it, and I'm the type of person, like, if I go and put on a movie for my children, es porque yo ya la vi y miré que en todo estuviera bien, right? But I guess, have you guys watched or heard about the movie Cuties or something like that? I don't know if it's on Disney Plus or Netflix, algo así. So I guess we were saying about how, like, that movie is super inappropriate, but it's for children.
No.
So it's like there's shit being pushed on our kids, which is why it's like, uno se tiene que poner las pilas, because we might not think about something like, oh, we might not catch something, but our kids definitely will.
There's a lot of Disney's been putting out a lot of movies with the LGBTQ, you know, pro messages on there. Which I don't have anything against that, but I don't like that they're pushing it on children at an early age. So for us, if we're watching a movie and then something comes up with that, then we just take it off, you know? Or my wife will try to be ahead of the game, like, oh, let me look it up first, see what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, and the last one that we saw, I want to say it was on Disney Plus and not Netflix. had something like that. And she's like, I thought that was it. And we didn't end up watching it, you know? We ended up cutting it off, bro.
Yeah.
Where the guy was like, had a crush on another guy, you know? And it's like a 7, well, for my kids, 7 and 4. I mean, they have no business seeing anything like that, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like you said, bro. You don't mind that it's on there, you know,
Yeah,
especially
I don't care
if it's
that
like
they're pro.
Right. Especially if it's like a rated R, PG-13, whatever, you know, movie. It's like, okay, well, whatever. But it's not made for kids, right?
Yeah.
But when it's on Disney, it's like, well, what the fuck is it doing on Disney, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, look, for the parents that are way more open-minded about, you know, whatever, their kids feeling a certain way or I identify or whatever, to them, it's probably, hey, this is good. This is progress. You know, I like that now my kid feels included, you know? They're being very inclusive. And maybe we're not seeing the other side of it, you know? But I'm not, you know, new school. I'm still thinking old school. I'm very old school minded, and I'm probably going to stick that way till I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way I was raised. You know what I mean? So when I see stuff like that, to me, I don't appreciate it because I feel like my kid is too young to know about that.
I think I'm open enough to where like this is a new society that like we're in. Porque antes, o sea, if y'all would have heard, if our parents and our grandparents would have heard about this stuff that's happening, o sea, they're like, oh no, absolutely not, because our culture is super taboo on certain things, right? But for me, it's like, it's still children. What age do we, or can we all agree all across the board that what this kid is feeling and identifying with is actually like what he's going to for the rest of his life identify with? Porque un niño,
yeah, we don't really know.
Un niño te va a decir, oh, yo quiero hacer esto, yo quiero hacer lo otro. My kid, I want to be a worker like my dad because his dad does construction. I want to go do that. And then the next day, no, I want to be a cop. I want to be a firefighter. O sea, you never really know porque son niños.
Of course.
So it's like,
Shit, we don't even know as adults.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's I'm old school this or that. I just think it's simple as they're still kids and like
Mentally not ready.
What age can you really say this kid knows exactly what he wants? There's times we don't even know what the fuck we want and we're older.
What we do know is that a movie will inspire you and you'll want to be Spider-Man if Spider-Man's flying around.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, so it is going to plant a seed.
Head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's just the way I feel about it.
I agree, bro. I mean, I just feel like exactly how you guys are saying. As kids, we do get influenced, right? Because we're very young, you know. Like we see a girl we like, and she likes X, you know. Well, fuck, I like X now just to impress her or whatever the fuck. Well, like, oh, well, she's now into. She only likes or she only wants to talk to people who are trans. As a little kid, you're probably like, fuck it, I'm trans too. Shit, what's up? You're like, come talk to me. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah,
I could just see that, you know, like, because we would do something like that. So, I just don't agree with the whole kids thing. And now you hear about schools trying to push on it as well, like trying to offer like classes or whatever. You know what? It's cool. You have to have my permission though. Like, as a parent, let me sign up my kid for it. If I don't want to sign up my kid for it, don't have them in there, you know? But it's like they're almost trying to force it though. I don't agree with that.
No,
do I think it could serve as okay, so do I feel like it could be educational for maybe a kid who does have somebody trans at home to further help them understand what that's like or understand that relative or whatever the case might be? I do feel like it could be educational, but I agree with what you're saying. If you have to ask for my permission to take my kid out of school, you damn well better ask permission to be pushing that onto my kid or bringing that topic up.
Yeah.
Porque los niños no saben, no piensan en esa manera. You know, I was telling Noe, I work with kids as well. The other day I had a little boy, tenía las uñas pintadas. And he was like, he doesn't think about it as, this is going to make me girly, I'm a girl now or anything like that. He was just like, oh, my sister painted my nails. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. He's like the most boyish boy you will ever meet. O sea, le gusta encharcarse, jugar con la tierra. So it's like, I feel like
the innocence was there.
The innocence is still definitely there to where I don't really feel all the way like los niños saben until we show them all of that. Does that make sense?
So what do you think about that? Like the example that you just provided, right? Him as a boy didn't know, like, okay, this is more like a girl thing, right? For us, we know that because mostly girls paint their nails, right? do you feel like that was wrong that they were doing that or not? Not really. Like it didn't matter because he didn't know, or does it still matter that should he have a father figure being like, hey, you probably shouldn't paint your nails. That's more for girls.
I just feel like it comes down to family dynamic y como sea la familia. Like some parents might be more reserved, como nosotros, como hispanos, we're like, no, eso es para las niñas, you know? Like, so I feel like every family is gonna look at it differently. For me, I feel like if that happened to my kid, I'd be like, or if I had a daughter and she did that to one of my kids, I'd be like, maybe like don't paint his nails porque, you know.
So you would kind of be like, hey.
See, like for me, porque, you know, I'd be like, no, like, maybe let's not do that. But I don't feel like for their parents it was an issue. Porque no lo miran así. There's parents that are more open than maybe what we might be. You know?
Or maybe overthinking it, like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe we're just overthinking it, like, it's not that big of a deal, bro. Like, they did it for fun.
See.
Not because, oh, I identify or I feel or this is making me more girly or whatever, you know? The kid was probably just like, oh, that looks dope. Let me paint it, you know? Maybe. I don't know.
Con la hermana que le pintaba las uñas.
Yeah.
It was on his toenails, too. So,
oh, dang.
Like you said, we do live, like, in a very fast-paced world to where, like, I don't know if, like, the parents even knew about it, but...
Yeah, like, I feel like
I would... an issue with it, but he wasn't all, like, this is going to make me this or that. He was just like, I got my nails painted because my sister did it. Y ya se chingó.
I don't know. I think I would probably be like, yeah, you're not doing that. Don't do that. You know? Yeah. For me, for my kids.
Yeah. I can see that though, especially with the little kids. Cause I mean, I'm the one. I grew up with girls. You know, I don't have a brother. You know, anything like that. And I wouldn't paint my nails, you know, or anything like that. But like my sisters had like a Barbie. Like, oh, we're playing Barbies and shit.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just normal growing up. Right?
Yeah. But I'm saying like the innocence is there. It's not like, you know. So
I remember. Sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
It's funny because it's a strong thing though that comes with. I don't know if it's just our Hispanic parents and the old school thinking and all that, but even when it was, I would say like I like an artist. You know, my dad would be like, "You like his music," like if it was a guy, you know, he's like he and I vividly remember him correcting me like, "Nah, don't say like that, bro. You don't like him. You like his music." I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I in the innocence that I wasn't thinking in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was saying, that's what I was trying to say, fool, that I like his music. You know what I mean? But my dad was like, no, you like his music. You don't say you like him. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. But now I see it and I'm like, damn, that's crazy that he was that intentional about that. Like, not seeing my innocence of like, I'm just saying that I like his music, bro. Like,
so would you do that? Would you try to correct your kid like that? I think I
have, like, told him, but maybe not in a as rough way, you know? But maybe like, oh, you like his music? Oh, okay, cool. More like agreeing with him. Oh, yeah, his music is good. I like his music too or something. You know what I mean?
But not try to correct him like the way maybe your dad did.
He doesn't see it like that. He's just telling you that.
So you do, like, you understand more. Like, not like, I mean, not that your dad didn't, but, you know.
Yeah. I just feel like the way he did it was more like, afirmando way, like
harsher.
Yeah, and for me, it's more like, oh, you like his music? Oh, that's cool. I like his music too. Or his music is cool, you know.
And with parenting, like there's things that our parents could have done to us that maybe like to us now that we think about it as adults, now that we're parents, we're like, damn, like that was harsh. They could have really went about this differently, you know. Or as parents, like we look at things now and you're like, oh no, like I'm not gonna do that with my kids porque a mí no me pareció, me gustó que mi mamá or anything like that treated me or talked to me like this, so I'm going to do it differently with my kids. Porque son cosas que uno se acuerda.
Oh, you remember everything. I feel like everything comes back, even in a flash, you know?
Yeah.
Like something will happen, you be like, oh, hell no, I remember that.
Like
you know
there's times I say things to my mom. For my mom, it was a regular ass Tuesday when she said this to me, and then like, I don't know, 23 years later, like, todavía me acuerdo. And my mom's like, ¿cómo te vas a acordar de eso? Yo no dije eso. And I'm like, because there's things that se te quedan. For whatever reason, you internalize those things. And they affect you.
Well, they
how
affected
you let
then.
them affect you back then is how they're going to influence you later on. So going back to like the healing and everything like that, like we have to really be intentional and considerate of other people and how we say things.
Oh man, a
lot of child. What else do you have? Have you dealt with any big traumas? And this is a deep question, and you don't have to answer if you don't feel like it. But I mean,
you know, I knew that this was gonna come up because something in me. We were talking about being spiritual or whatever. I swear I'm a bruja, and I tell people all the time, I'm a witch. Like
but not for real, right? Like I'm safe.
Y'all are safe. Y'all are in the good list. I knew this was gonna come up because ahorita como les mencioné, I watched a podcast con la muchacha con Paula. Mad respect to her.
Shout out, Paula.
Mad respect to her, because when I watched that, I really sat there and I was like, am I courageous enough to be as open and honest as she's being? And like that question really, like, I don't know, it did something to me. So when I was driving over here, I was like, am I going to talk about this or am I not going to talk about this? Right? But I resonated with a lot of what she sat on this couch and said. Like, I felt it because I've been there. Cuando yo les estaba diciendo that abuse isn't just a stranger or anything like that, a veces son personas que son cercanas a la familia, o a veces son familiares. It's because it's happened to me. When I was telling y'all, like, it rewires and, like, it really fucks you up because, like, son cosas que se te quedan, o sea, it's super common. And, like, even, it's not just something that happens to, like, women, but I've had these conversations with homies and they're, like, grown men. And still they're like, yeah, like, I was molested, I was raped. And it fucking sucks because it's like that shit is becoming super common. And why the fuck is it becoming so common? You know? So yes, there's traumas and things that, like, I've had to deal with. Like, there's pictures of me as a child that I still to this day cannot look at. Because I remember, like, what I was feeling when that fucking camera went off and took that picture. Yo me acuerdo lo que yo estaba pensando, lo que yo estaba sintiendo en ese momento. So it's like, and I was just talking to someone about this, like, it takes you back in time of, like, this was going on. But I think right now, and, like, going to therapy and, like, healing and moving differently and being intentional about the way that I think and I talk to myself, I'm getting better. Because it's like, yo ya no soy esa niña, pero yo sé que esa niña estuviera bien orgullosa la persona que me estoy convirtiendo. It's not, I'm this woman now and that was that little girl. No, bro, we're one. And I really do feel like we go through certain trials and tribulations in life so that we can become a certain person para poder ayudar al prójimo y no sabes en qué manera. O tú puedes decir algo así súper simple and you don't know how it's going to hit someone else that hears you say it and it's going to resonate.
I agree. I'm very sorry to hear that. I didn't expect that to, I'm sorry to hear that you've gone through something like that.
I mean, it's okay.
And like you said, it's become far too common because, I mean, we've only been doing podcasting for 2 years, going on 3 years. And how many people have sat on this couch and talked about,
Yeah.
stuff like this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
And I feel like that's also why I'm super passionate about this topic because there's so many different aspects to it of, hey, like, this shit is for real. And so I have insane trust issues. Anybody that knows me is going to tell you that I do. Yo no le tengo la confianza a nadie of just leaving my kids with just anybody. Sleepovers, absolutely not. We're not in this house. We don't do that shit. Si alguien quiere venir a la casa porque yo sé que nada va a pasar en mi hogar con los niños de nadie más, they're going to be welcome. Son más que bienvenidos. Pero que yo deje a mis hijos ir a quedarse a la casa de los demás nomás porque sí, if I don't know that person, like, super well, and even then, like, it's just not happening. I'm sorry. And I feel like it sucks for them because with kids, like, it's common for them, hey, I want to go to so-and-so's house or whatever. Tú no sabes quién va a llegar a esa casa. You don't know, like, if the uncle, grandpa, tío, or even a woman has a history or malas intenciones.
Now, did this happen within your family too? Like your family knows?
So it was somebody really close to the family. Y it was something que for about 4 to 5 years, like, it happened on like several different occasions to where, like, it numbed me and me lo guardé for, like, years.
How old were you at that time?
When it began, I want to say I was around 11.
So you were able to.
Yo ya sabía que lo que estaba pasando no estaba, no estaba bien. Pero te meten tanta cosa, tanta cizaña en la cabeza de que, oh, you're gonna hurt your mom si dices esto, or if, like, siempre te dicen lo mismo, you know, like, como que te quieren asustar de que, like, this wasn't said to me de que algo le iba a pasar a my mom or anybody, like, close to the family, but it was like, you're gonna disappoint them, you're gonna hurt them, y cuando tú estás niño, o sea, lo último que quieres es dañar a la persona que más quieres, que en este momento, pues, era mi mamá, you know, so
that's how you were able to, like, well, they were able to convince you to not bring it to light.
Just keeping it hush, yeah. And so, ya cuando le dije a my mom, and she doesn't know I was going to bring this up, pero ya cuando le dije a my mom, like, it was just like, era un tormento.
Did you get the support? Did she believe you?
Yep.
Because a lot of the families, sometimes they don't believe it, you know, they disagree.
Yeah. Gracias a Dios que mi mamá.
Yeah, that is good.
Because I think she started seeing, like, a change in me. You know? I'm losing my voice.
You're good.
Échale un trago.
You're gonna have to edit this out.
Yeah, we will. Well, that's good that she had the support and that she believed you, man. You hear a lot of kids that come, you know, and bring the story to light, and like they say, like, my mom didn't believe me, my parents didn't believe me, they thought I was lying, you know.
I'm just very grateful that my mom did believe me, because yo ya tenía años guardándome eso.
So how long did you wait before even bringing it up?
After that, and after it stopped, it would have been unos 3 años más o menos.
So it went from 11 to like 14, 15?
The abuse happened from, like, the beginning, when, like, you know, puberty, like, begins in a woman, and I feel like that had a lot to do with it. From, like, 11 up until, like, 13, 14 años más o menos. Y esa persona se fue, y después de eso, como que todo se me quedó, pero dentro un cambio dentro de ti, of, like, dude, I was destructive as fuck. I'm just flat out gonna be honest. I was self-destroying porque yo me sentía, pues, dañada. Yo sabía que lo que estaba pasando no estaba bien, pero how do you deal with an ongoing war within yourself cuando no puedes decirle nada a nadie? You're gonna fuck yourself up, and that's what I was doing. Y ya cuando mi mamá empezó, pues, a notar de que algo no estaba bien, with, like, my behavior and my reactions, like, if a door would open, así de volada, like, I was already at the door, like, trying to shove it closed. And my mom was like, así como que, that's a hella quick reaction, like, that's a trigger. Y ya, no, pues, porque estás así, esto que el otro. Y no, o sea, yo me aferré de que yo no voy a decir nada porque se me quedó. Yo no quiero dañar a mi mamá. Y en ese momento, as a mom, like, tú quieres saber lo que le está pasando a tu hijo, right? So when I finally told her, it was just, I mean, obviously she was, like, destroyed, because you don't ever want something like that to happen to your kid.
Did that bring you and your mom closer? Like, is your bond really close with your mom?
My mom and I, we're very much alike, but we're very different, so I can't say we're like two peas in a pod, pero it did bring us closer, de que she was there for me, like, the whole time. She was supportive, y ya logró comprender por qué estaba yo haciendo todo el desmadre que estaba haciendo within myself.
Now, is this person locked up? Like, you mentioned that they left.
They're dead.
Oh,
they passed away. Se fueron.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. I did not expect that answer. I thought you were going to be like, oh, they dipped to Mexico, or, you know,
no,
something.
Se fueron a Mexico, pero
okay.
They didn't pass away.
The person's age while they were doing this?
I feel like it's a dead giveaway if you know me.
Okay, you don't have to. This is just questions that, to me, like.
Yeah, no, ya estaban adultos, ya estaban grandes, ya, o sea, tú debes de saber lo que está bien, lo que está mal.
Yeah.
Old enough to know that.
For sure.
This is a hard topic for me to also, like, try to engage and try to ask questions, because, like, I don't like talking about stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Even when we had us to the homie David and Paula, it's like I get very uneasy. I get, you know, it's just I don't like talking about it. So I apologize right now for you know, not being, like, annoying right now and asking, like, all the questions and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know if you wanted to keep going with this or
No, we could switch it. We could switch it up. I just felt like I asked you the question because if I felt like you give that aura like you've been through a lot, you know, like you're dealing with a lot. So I figured I'd go for it, you know, and ask you the question of like, hey, have you gone through a lot of trauma? How are you coping with that? What are you doing to, you know what I mean? That's the reason why I asked the question.
Yeah, I think you just have to really like take it. You have to really like take things a day at a time, and that's why I keep repeating. Like back then, I would just do things to like cope for that moment. Where now I do things more intentionally to benefit me to be able to heal and cope long term. You know, como like going to therapy has really helped me a lot. Like being able to sit with myself and like really think about things and analyze certain situations. Even following your gut feeling is like super beneficial to you. Porque si tú dentro de ti sientes como que algo no está bien, es porque no está bien. You have that for a reason.
I believe that.
The instinct, yeah.
I believe that. 100%.
Yeah.
Instinct.
Do I give you like an old soul type of like?
Well, I mean, just the way you were talking about and the way you were invested into this conversation about, you know, children being molested and child trafficking and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it just me nació preguntarte, you know, genuinely, like, did you deal with something like this, or are you dealing with something now? You know, just genuinely wanted to ask you that question. So,
no, thankfully, I'm in a very good spot right now.
That's good. That's good to hear, and I'm glad you're healing and it's working. You know that therapy is working. I can't imagine, you know, something like that, how it affects, you know, in the long term. You know what I mean?
Te afecta mucho y there's things that like people don't really understand. Por eso when I mentioned like even with like friendships or relationships, like yo soy el tipo de persona de que if I'm not having a good day, yo aunque seamos todos like super cool amigos, yo me voy a alejar porque yo no quiero que like my emotions like to bring anybody else down. I like to deal with my own things on my time on my own y ya me arrimo un poquito or like me acoplo más cuando yo esté bien, you know. And I feel like I was in a relationship where they were like, no, pero eso no está bien, like you have to keep me in the loop. And everybody deals with things differently, but it's like yo soy así. People, not everybody likes to talk about everything right then and there, you know. Like if you're having a bad day, like a veces lo último que quieres is to talk about it. You just want to like get through it, and then maybe you can revisit that conversation. But
and obviously the people who ask, I mean, they mean well, right? So they want to be there for you, and because we do hear this all the time, where it's like, where I could have asked, you know, I could have been there. Maybe all they needed to do was just talk. Mm-hmm. So
you hear that a lot.
Yeah,
you hear that a lot.
I believe in giving kindness all the time, porque, o sea, sin ni siquiera fijarte a quién or anything about that person, like just be kind all around, because you don't know who could be like right at the edge, and your kindness can be the thing that saves them. De que les dé un ánimo o un aliento, o sea, de echarle ganas a la vida y de continuar.
Yep.
Because if you're really going through it and you're down, and some person like continues to just like be bashful and hurtful and just like make you feel, o sea, no te va a dar ánimo, it's just gonna make you continue to feel like that.
Yeah. We talk about depression and anxiety a lot here. Do you feel like you deal with stuff like that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Both?
Yeah. I've been diagnosed with both, and with like therapy, they were like, maybe it's best that like you get on something. Porque there's really good days, and then there's days that I'm just like, I really am not having it today. Yeah. And it's okay to say, I'm really not having it today. You're human. You know? But yeah, I used to take medication for it. Now I know that there are certain triggers like that will cause me to have a panic attack. Like I get overstimulated very easily now. And so I try to avoid like certain things, or like si me engento, like if there's like a lot of people around, like I get anxious like that.
Social anxiety?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to deal with things more naturally now.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. We talk about this stuff all the time on the pod. I feel like it comes up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, because like I also get anxiety. I also have social anxiety,
Yeah.
and I do it. Like you said, you do have some good days, some bad days. There's times where it's like I feel like months, like I fucking feel great, and then it'll be like 2 or 3 weeks of like I just feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not with it. But we still got to record or anything like that. Well, you still got to
talk
do.
about this all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to do life, right? You still got to work. You still have to, whatever.
Do you feel like with having anxiety and with having depression, you can kind of feel like the roller coaster's up, but it's gonna drop down a little bit? Like, do you feel like you get to a point where you're like, I'm gonna get it?
I don't think I have depression. I think it's just anxiety for me. So I wouldn't know how depression really feels like. But for me, it's just more like these conversations that we're having right now that we were having. That definitely raises my anxiety where I just feel very uncomfortable. And that's why I can't contribute to the questions and whatnot because like I'm very uncomfortable. Meeting new people, very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Which is like ironic because like of the pod we do meet a lot of new people and it's like but that's why when we do have these pods and we do have new people it's like I'm like sweating bullets. I'm over here like fuck, like am I gonna ask the right questions? Are we gonna whatever? But yeah, the depression thing, no, I wouldn't know how that feels like. I don't think I have depression because I don't feel down like that. Just from what I've heard of what depression it feels like, where it's like you don't want to do anything, you don't even want to shower, you don't want to you just want to be home.
Yeah.
From what I've read and from what I've heard, that's what people say. Mine is just like I'm just very anxious. Like I start moving, I start fidgeting.
Yeah.
Like I just want to escape. I guess that's the best word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely get it.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, gracias a Dios, no. No, I don't have any of those.
No.
I mean, I feel like the stuff that I deal with is normal. Like the other day that I went to the party con mi compa, eran puros güeros, right? So it's my coworker, or ex-coworker. He invited me to a party, right?
Yeah.
At his sister's house. So we show up. We're the only Hispanics there. They're a different culture, so they're a little different, I can't say I have social anxiety. It just felt awkward, you know what I mean? Like the room felt different, and everybody was nice, but cuando vas a una fiesta de mexicanos, like everybody, ¿qué le traigo de tomar? Hey, everybody, for the most part, it's rare que vayas a una fiesta de hispanos and not everybody's kind of welcoming, like, what's up? Where you from? Oh, whatever.
Es que así somos.
Yeah, so, my wife's like, well, you seem fine. You seem like you were doing. I'm like, yeah, well, what am I going to do? Like, it's not like I'm going to be like shaking in the corner. It was just different. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's just normal. I can't call it anxiety. I think it's just normal awkwardness of being in a new place, new people that you don't know.
Yeah.
Their culture is very different. Más secos un poco, But yeah, I told my wife when we left, yeah, sí estaba awkward, but
it's all good.
Pues de todos modos, I'm a social butterfly as it is. So I mean, no more,
Yeah.
like no tengo miedo de hablar. Well, we know that, you know what I mean?
Say, like, I get social anxiety, but anybody that really knows me down to a T, they're gonna be like, "This the cabrona is very social. Like, how are you gonna be very social and have social anxiety?" My thing is, okay, like he said, if I don't know people and like it's a very very large group, como que I'm like, okay, am I gonna make it through? Like, how do I do it? Because perception of me is super important. Like with your cousin, for example, cuando los conocí a todos, y todos we were like in the house, like they have a really big family, and everybody's super loving and super kind, and like, everybody was like I was greeting everybody, but it was to a point that like I said, I get overstimulated easily, and like I just didn't know what to do with myself, and I felt like it was kicking in. And that's what I would explain to your cousin. I was like, I love your family, but I just don't know like how to deal with myself in this moment. Because
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And there's a lot of them.
Eran muchos. And there was just like a lot of like noise and everything. And we're all a really loud family too. So I enjoyed the company, but I just got to a point that I was like, okay, I need to like step away for like even just a minute. With relationships, that's what I'm saying. O sea, tú le tienes que dar el It's not anything against you. It's not anything personal. It's just, it's me, and I'm dealing with me.
Do you feel like and this will probably be the last question about you,
What?
per se, pero do you feel like you've pulled away from the self-destruction? Or you feel like when you fall into these downs of depression or anxiety or whatever, do you feel like you still go into these self-destructive modes?
No.
No. So the therapy's definitely been
helpful.
Yes. Also because I work a lot too, so I'm like, if I'm like self-destroying and like I'm just like not taking care of myself, or me estoy envenenando el cerebro with like bullshit and like just thinking negative, like what am I gonna get out of that? You know?
I feel like it's really easy to do that too. Like to, you know, envenenarte el cerebro. That's a good way to put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you really got to fight hard to not do that because it's out there. You know, we're on social media all day.
You have
know,
to
like,
control and be very intentional about like what you're consuming again. Like if you're looking at Instagram, ¿qué vas a estar haciendo? You're going to be looking at all this like ¿cómo se dicen? Influencers. And like their life and comparing it to yours, or I could be doing this or that. O sea, no hagas eso. Focus on you y cómo superarte tú and how to make yourself better primero antes que nada.
How did you the way you phrased it, like perception is it means a lot to you. Why is that? Why do you feel that way?
Because I feel like soy muy comunicativa, right? And so with the perception, I feel like they go hand in hand. ¿Por qué? Because yo puedo pensar something about algo in a certain way, and I can perceive a certain situation this way, pero the other person might not perceive it like that or think about it like that. So like where I might think there's an issue, for another person it's like, well, there's really no issue with
So you
that.
were not saying just about yourself, like how they view you.
Right. It's just all around
in
perception.
general. Okay. All right. Wanted to make sure. I was like, oh, where did that come from? Why did that, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
We're gonna wrap this up, bro.
Yeah,
We're already. Yeah, we're already there. So, can we end on a positive note and something happy?
Let's do
Okay.
it.
What makes me happy? Food. All right. So now that you're here in Chicago, are you looking forward to try anything? Have you tried anything or?
I don't know. That's what I was gonna tell you guys. Like, what do you guys recommend? Like, what's something that you're like you cannot leave without trying?
Do you gotta try? Man, bro, I want to say Zacatacos, bro.
Damn, this fool. You're gonna be in Chicago, downtown Chicago?
Yeah, I got a hotel by the pier.
Okay, so what is out by the pier, bro? You're the one that's out there like that.
I mean, it's like, cause it's gonna be like tourist stuff, right? So like your Giordano's, your stuff like that. I was gonna say like Maxwell's, but no, you don't want to go to Maxwell's by yourself.
No.
Damn.
Well, she's got to drive through the more ghetto area too. So tacos, anywhere tacos. What do you like? I guess that's what we should be asking. What do you like?
I'm fine for anything.
So there's deep dish pizza if you like pizza.
Giordano's and stuff.
Giordano's, Illuminati's, Gino's East.
Oh yeah.
Those are the three big ones, no?
Right. I mean, to me, like they're more touristy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people come here like, oh, Giordano's,
but everybody wants to try the deep dish.
That's what I'm saying.
Esa sí está
Like,
buena.
but it's not like Chicago staple pizza, you know?
No?
No.
Damn, dude. I'm not a Chicagoan though, like official, you know? I wasn't born here, so.
Yeah. Were you born here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's from Chicago for real. And tacos, pues, if you're gonna say tacos at any 26th Street,
Not any. At Totonilco for her, sure.
Totonilco.
But right now, the GDs and the Kings are at war, so,
That's probably not a good idea to go there. Then, yeah, dude, I forgot about that.
Oh, SD's my bad. Shit. They hit me leg, wait.
Yeah, come shoot us,
That's the
bro.
wrong fucking.
There's a lot. What about that birreria place that you were talking about? Didn't Chingonas talk about it too? Where's that one at?
Oh, for Tacotlan?
Yeah.
Tacotlan, that's in the north side. That's a little bit safer, yeah.
Okay.
Tacotlan, if you
Tacotlan.
like birria.
No me anden mandando lo peligroso.
Yeah. We're trying to think.
Los voy a llevar with me, like, I'm coming.
Tacotlan. Yeah, I'm trying to think because that Ocotlan birria we went to, that's also on 26th.
That was pretty
But
good.
the gangs are at
Okay.
war right now. So
Yeah,
it's not a good,
they're fighting right now.
not a good time to go there.
I'd be like, excuse me, can I get through, por fin?
I'm sure they'll let you through, but they're still gonna shoot.
Oh,
At each
Yeah.
other, obviously.
duck and run. Just duck and run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But you're gonna be by the pier and you're gonna be by all the tourist stuff. So
Okay.
Giordano's pizzas, I don't think
Yeah.
you'll fail. I like it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I like
Alright.
it. If you like deep dish, if you like a lot of cheese, there's definitely a lot
Oh
of
my
cheese.
gosh, I love cheese.
Yeah.
I'm
So
Chihuahua, so like the cheese is like,
yeah. So
Love
yeah,
it.
I don't know. If you have not eaten it before, I would try it.
Okay.
This guy's not a big fan, but I like it.
It's not like, it says touristy. You know?
Give me a pizza place that's not touristy though. That you're like, that's way better.
Oh, man, bro. So when we used to live close to 26th Street on Marshall Boulevard, there was this pizza joint, and I say there was because someone bought it out and they changed the recipe. Del Campo, fire. Some of the best pizza.
Okay, so yeah, there is some.
Yeah,
Nardi's in Addison was good too.
Nardi's is decent. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna be way too far from anything.
like all
So
the-
you're gonna
yeah.
be by all the touristy stuff.
Okay.
But Giordano's, if you're going for pizza, I would say go Giordano's. I like it more than Illuminati's and Gino's East.
Portillo's.
Oh yeah, dude.
You gotta try
That's
Portillo's.
easy and it's
Okay.
cheap.
Y'all are both agreeing on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had Portillo's or no? Yeah. If you haven't had Portillo's,
Go to
you're
that
gonna
one.
go to that instead of They got beefs, burgers, hot dogs, fries, cheese fries. Get cheese fries for sure. That's tough, perro. You're not gonna fail with that one. I think
Yeah.
we're guiding you in the right direction. Good
Okay.
thinking, bro.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks
That's a
for
good
the
one.
tip, guys.
Yep. Comment below if you guys have any pizza spots. I want to try some pizza spots, bro.
Pizza spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for some pizza spots. Oh, you know what? There's that one spot that no, it's not a pizza spot though. But I want to go try it out. The El Sur or whatever. Oh, it's on 26th Street. Oh, we might get shot.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
We're
We ain't trying to
staying away
get
from
shot.
that. Yeah,
We ain't
we're
trying to get
staying away
shot.
from there.
All right. Thank you again for coming out, doing your 10-hour trip all the way out here. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you had a good time
Yeah,
here on the pod.
I really did.
Thank you for coming.
Do you
out.
have any
Thanks for-
shout outs or anything like that? Oh, go ahead.
Just thanks for allowing you guys into your space.
Oh, no. Hey,
It's very
you.
comfortable and cozy. Very welcoming too.
thank you. We appreciate you messaging us, and for opening up and sharing as well. For doing the drive, that's hard too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming, and I'm glad that you came and
Thank you.
shared with us for sure.
Means a lot.
Thank you. All right, so this is it. It's Compas Unfiltered. Thank you guys for listening, for watching. Nos vemos para la otra.
Peace.
Deuces.